Assalamu alaikum to dear viewers and listeners. You are here with Israr Tanodi, the researcher. Dear viewers, today we are going to discuss about study a significant and important literary term and a poetic form, ballad. In this video, we shall be defining ballad, looking at the historical background of ballad, what are the important characteristics of a ballad, types of a ballad, functions of a ballad, themes of a ballad, and examples of ballad. So, firstly, looking at a ballad, from where this word ballad came in. The word ballad is derived from a French word spelled as B-A-L-A-D, ballad, which means to dance. The etymology of the word ballad is even traced back to a Latin word spelled as B-A-L-L-A-R-E, Blair, which also means to dance. So a ballad is is a form of a narrative, either in a verse or a song, which is transmitted orally from a generation to generation. Ballad tells a story, often with a focus on a theme of love, adventure. Ballads are the species of the folk song which originate and are communicated orally among peoples, and these peoples may be illiterate, partly literate, or literate folks. The condition for ballad writing and ballad singing is not, the literate people, as in the case of epic poem, where highly literate people can understand and analyze those poems. But in the case of ballad, they are usually being sung by the illiterate people, and it goes from generation to generation, across generation. A ballad usually basically conveys the deep emotion and historical background or the historical events. Now, looking at the historical, history of ballad, from where this ballad originated, and in the different time period of different history. So, the start of ballad can be, located into the Middle Ages, especially in the late 13th century, where we see that the ballad were being sung in the English channels. In the 16th century, a new form of ballad came into origin called broadside ballad. Broadside ballad are those form of ballad which are, written on a single sheet of paper. They were cheap to sell and buy. So they were, a major form of ballad between the 16th century to 19th century. They were being sung in the street. They were also called a street ballad. The first the version of the ballad in the form of book is entitled as The Relics of Ancient English Poetry, written by Thomas Percy in 1765. With the turn of 18th century, a major turn had occurred in the ballad. In the past time, the ballads were usually sung. They were not written. They were stored. They were means that shifted from a generation to generation, and many changes have occurred in their variant form, as they were not stored in the written form, while in the 18th century ballad was stored in the written form, like the books published by St. Coleridge and Wordsworth, entitled as the Lyrical Ballads in year 1798. After Wordsworth and St. Coleridge, John Keats had written many ballads. Then Victorian poets Robert Browning had written many ballads. By the turn of 19th century, ballads saw another evolution as scholars and collectors begins to compile the long anthologies of ballad. An example of that anthology is being written by a Scottish writer Francis J. Child, entitled as English and Scottish Ballad, that has been compiled between the year 1882 to 1988, which included our more than 400 ballads. As we move to the 20th and 21st century, the this ballad has been written on the same pace as they were being in the past. So in with the turn of 20th and 20th century, especially in America, the jazz music and other folk songs are the species of the ballad. Now we are looking at the types of ballad. We have got the broadside ballad, literary ballad, and the traditional ballad. Firstly, looking at the traditional ballad. What are the traditional ballad? As the name suggests that they are the classical ballad. So the history of these ballads can be, we can locate it in the Middle Ages, and these ballads were not written down, they were just sung and they were being shifted from a generation to generation. So the authorship of these ballads is a big question. We did not know about the exact author of these classical ballads. Then we have got another second form of ballad, which is broadside ballad. Broadside ballad are that sort of ballad which are written on a single sheet of paper, and they were usually cheap to sell and cheap to buy. They were they become famous during the 16th to 19th century. These ballads were also called the street ballads because they were sold and bought at the street. And usually the topic of these ballads are the like the newspaper or the magazine paper which shares the news of today's past days. So they are like the newspaper, and they share the most latest news. Then we have got the literary ballad. As the name suggests that literary ballad, these ballad employs the literary techniques such as repetition, refrain, rhyme, rhythm, and many other literary techniques these ballad embodies. This literary ballad had started to be, compiled in the 18th century with the publication of Wordsworth and Coleridge's famous book Lyrical Ballad in 1798, and from then onward, this, you know, this the writing of the literary ballad had begun to started. Now we are looking at the important characteristics of ballad. What are the characteristics of ballad and which things a ballad should have? Usually the language of ballads are very simple. They are written in the simple or the common main language. As in the romantics poets writing, in the writing of Coleridge, Wordsworth, Shelley, William Blake, and John Keats, and many other, Robert Southey and other poet had written it in a very simple language. They use the common main language. Then there should be a musical touch and ballad. This musical touch adds a quality to a ballad, which this due to the musical touch, ballads are easy to be remembered, and it moves across from generation to generation. Then in the ballads we see the medieval old atmosphere as it refers to the starting point of ballad. So ballad having a medieval old atmosphere. Then we have got the supernatural magic and mysterious elements are the part of ballad, especially in the poems of Coleridge. This element is very very much evident, supernatural element, as in the rhyme of the ancient mariner, where the many supernatural elements are part of that ballad. Then we have got the repetition and refrain. Repetition and refrain adds to the rhythm of the ballad, so they are the part of a ballad. The rhyme scheme of ballads are very very simple. They usually follow the rhyme scheme A B C B or A B A B. Note important thing is that in this scheme the first and second lines may or may not have a rhyme, while the third and fourth line must have a rhyme. So this thing is important. Usually ballads are written objectively, not subjectively. They refer objectivism. Now we are looking at the functions of the ballad. Which functions a ballad perform? A ballad conveys deep emotions. A ballad serves as a powerful medium to convey deep emotion. When you listen or to read a ballad, you shall notice the strong emotion embedded within a story, such as the emotion of love, loss, and other, worldly affairs are being discussed in the ballads. Another, chief function of ballad is that ballads serve as a historical record. They serve as a heritage recorder. Ballads were written on the famous incident like the battles, like the famed love affair, and other, important incident of an era. So ballad, serve as a heritage recorder or the historical, survivor. Ballad engages the listener or reader. A ballad can, by using the flashback technique or stream of consciousness, a ballad can bring back all those scenes that were being present at the time when the writer was writing, and when the writer was writing to the mind of listener or reader. So it acts as an engages to the listener or reader. Now we are looking at what are the some common themes of the ballad. So ballads are written on the theme of love, loss, death, heroism and adventure, supernatural and unknown elements, social critique and morality, historical events are some of the themes of ballad, human nature, war and conflict, faith and spirituality are the main themes of the ballad. Now we are looking at the examples of ballad in English literature. See The Rime of Ancient Mariner by S.T. Coleridge. This lengthy poem tells the story of a mariner who kills an albatross. Thus, this killing of albatross, brought a curse upon his ships and its crew. Its supernatural theme and the language make it a quite essential example of a literary ballad. It is a long ballad, a long literary ballad. Yeah, it is a form of short story, means a long ballad which is written in the form of poem or ballad. Then a famous ballad of John Keats, La Belle Dame Sans Mercy. In this poem, the poet John Keats recounts the story of a knight or a soldier who is seduced by a mysterious and a beautiful woman. So this ballad explores the theme of love, the theme of illusion, so it's showcasing the emotional depth of characteristic of a human behavior. So it tells about the emotional depth of humans feeling. Then a famous ballad of Edgar Allan Poe named as the Annabel Lee. So this ballad, the poet tells the mournful story of a love so strong that even death cannot diminish it. So this ballad encapsulates the themes of love, lost, which have become the common feature in many ballads of Edgar Allan Poe. And the last example of ballad that I have is the Ballad of East and West by Rudyard Kipling. Indian-born English writer Rudyard Kipling, and this ballad categorized two civilizations. On one side, he had discussed about East, and then on the second side, he has discussed about the means West. So in this ballad, Indian-born writer Kipling explored the themes of cultural differences and common humanity, a testament to the capacity of ballet to engage complex social themes. So this is all about ballet, its type, function, characteristic, definition, history. Hope so you have enjoyed this lesson. So keep watching my YouTube channel for further videos on poetic form and literary terms. Have a nice day and do subscribe my channel for further videos.